Hey guys, can you believe I did it? I launched my shop and I've actually made some sales already, which is amazing. And this is what it looks like. So it is an Etsy shop, which unfortunately means there's all the fees that I need to deal with, but I'll talk to you about it later. In this video, I'm going to talk about how I prepared for the launch, the setup of my shop, and talk about the finances in detail. Starting with the prep, I had all my products ready to go, and in my case, it was the stickers for the Mad Cow collection. If you do want to watch the process from design to manufacturing and all the drama that I had with that, then this is the video. Once I had my products, I thought about packaging and shipping and what I would like my customers to feel when they get my order. For the packaging, I knew I wanted something sustainable, so I went for glassine paper bags and A5 hardback envelopes, which I both got from Amazon. To include branding and make the packaging a little bit cuter, I did design a logo and then I got a stamp made from it, and the one I went for is this one from this Etsy seller. I also used this logo on my business card, which I designed on Canva and I got printed by Vistaprint. I used the business card as an opportunity to enhance the customer experience, but also make it a little bit interactive by having the front as a coloring page. And for that, I did use one of my illustrations. Like I said, I've done a few orders already, and I've actually decided that it was very practical for me to buy a thermal printer just because I don't have a printer and I do work full time. And by the time I get to the post office after work, it's usually closed. And I also don't want to deal with the queues, and I don't want to wait until Saturday to deal with the orders. So yeah, I got myself this thermal printer in pink, and I haven't used it yet, so I don't know how well it works, but I will let you know. I'm just trying to set it up and get my head around how it works, but it looks cute so far. I knew I wanted to film some packing videos and I wanted to make a bit more ASMR, so I did think about what I would have in the background and what things I would use for the organization of my stock. And just as a side note, I don't have a studio. I don't even have a desk. So I kind of use the counter space on my dresser, and I've tried to make it a bit cuter by adding things like this cute little basket that's in pink from Amazon, and I've also got a vase that I painted myself. So yeah, just trying to make do with what I've got at the moment, and hopefully one day I'll have a desk one day soon to make it a bit more easier for myself. But you gotta do what you gotta do. So I did also get these boxes from Amazon, and that's what I used to put the stickers in. But honestly, I would have preferred some drawers, but because it's so expensive at the moment, again, I've opted for something a bit cheaper and something that would work for me at the moment. With all that stuff done, it was time to set up the shop, and I did actually do a bit of competitor analysis and a bit of research to see what other small businesses with similar products were doing, and get some inspiration for the listings and the prices. This is how I did my listings. I wanted the sizes to be very clear because the frosted ones are smaller than the mirror glossy ones, and that's because I used two different manufacturers and there was some drama and I won't get into it again. If you do want to watch it, then it's on my channel. But yeah, definitely wanted the customers to know that in advance because I didn't want them to feel misled or misinformed. To take these product photos, I did put a bunch of stickers on a flat surface and then use like a little cap to prop up one of them, and then took a photo from above. I also like showing hands in the listing because I feel like it gives people an idea of scale. So I did do that for the video listing and also the photos like this. Like I said, I work full time, so I did do everything small business related in my free time or at work during breaks. This meant the lighting was not consistent and it was pretty shit. I did do a lot of editing to make sure the colors were as close to the real thing as possible, and I found that the best app for that is Lightroom. And just look at this difference. It did take me ages to figure out the right settings, but honestly, once you figure out one, it's pretty easy to create a preset and then just use that and maybe make a few changes if you need to. But yeah, it was pretty easy once you had the one. And to create all the listings, I used Canva. Then I opened my Etsy shop, and to do that, it was a simple step-by-step process. To be honest, the difficult part for me was to figure out a name that would both represent my business but also was not taken. So it did take me a while, but I finally got there in the end. And then I had to pay the first fee of Etsy, which is the setup fee, and it was £14. And with that, Shop Sweet Nightmares was born. Now I really had to set up the shop, so I had all the listings ready, and then I created a shop icon, which is basically a square photo, and then the shop banner as well, and then figured out all the bio information. From my understanding, some of the stuff you do need to use like a computer or laptop, but for most things like the listings, you could probably use the Etsy seller app. In my profile, I also included a video because I felt like it would be interesting for people visiting my shop to see, a bit of behind the scenes, of me kind of designing the products or, doing the drawings. To do the listings, I did use the Etsy seller app and it was quite easy, especially once you've done one, you basically just kind of copy it and then change the information as needed. And if you have variations in your products like I do, you can actually link the photos, which makes it a bit nicer, and I feel like it's quite helpful for people as well. You basically just switch the link photos button and select which one. For the delivery options, I did make the decision to only sell things in the UK, so I do apologize for international people, but I felt like it'd be just easy to start with, especially because I have no experience with this, so I wanted to start a bit easy, so I do apologize. And I wanted to make sure the delivery was free because when I shop on Etsy, that's what I look for. And before you publish it, there is a message that shows the listing fee and also asks you whether you want to renew automatically or manually after 4 months. And that was pretty much it. So my profile was set and all my listings were ready to go. So all I had to do was basically advertise it. I did finish all that on a Tuesday night, and because I was so excited, I messaged my brother and I told him about the shop, that it was finally ready to go. So he did actually, bless him, made an order. So he was my first customer, which was very exciting. And then the next day I did post it on my social media and I got a few more orders, which was amazing. So I'm very grateful. A customer is a customer, whether you know them or not. I feel like I wanted to treat them just the same, and to me they meant a lot either way. So yeah, I was very, very happy. I prepaid for the shipping labels on Royal Mail and then got them printed at work with my manager's permission and then packed the orders at home so that I would have them all ready to go and then put them in the post box, because I didn't want to rely on the post office. Like I said, I don't want to deal with the queues and the times, but I know that there's a post box near my house, and I can just use that. Even with the post boxes, you can get proof of posting, but honestly, the Royal Mail app is such a royal pain in the ass. I was standing in front of the post box and it could not confirm my location. And all my settings were correct. So it was driving me nuts. And then I did Google it, and apparently it's very common and it does glitch a lot. But you can just continue without confirming the location. And then once they scan it in the post office, whatever, like on their end basically, then the slip or whatever you get, that's changed from pending to approved. So it did work like that and that was okay, but it was a bit stressful because I didn't know whether it was working or whether things were going to be delivered, but it did work in the end and everyone did have the orders in time, which is good. Now let's talk about money, and for that bit I definitely need my iPad with me because it's numbers and I'm not going to remember them all. With Sticker Up, which is the manufacturer that went for first and it gave me problems, I paid £142.84, and that was for the glossy mirror stickers. And with Vogue Race, which is the manufacturer that I'm going with now, I paid £104.72 plus a currency transaction fee of £3.13. And that was for the frosted stickers. And honestly, I got way more stickers for that price, which is obviously lower than Sticker Up. With Sticker Up, I got about 28 stickers at most, whereas with Vogue Race, I got 100 stickers for each design. So basically ended up with 700 stickers in total. So for all my products in both finishes, I paid £250.69. On Vistaprint, I paid £28.86 for 500 business cards. For the logo stamp from the Etsy seller, I did pay £16.97. For the Amazon stuff, I'm not too sure exactly what I paid because sometimes they do have deals, but I do use Alex, who's my boyfriend. I use his Prime account. Basically, I ask him to order stuff for me and I just send him money. So I don't remember whether it was a bit cheaper or not, but as of now, this is what it was listed. So £12.09 for the cute shopping basket, £14.99 for the stackable boxes, £14.25 for the A5 hardback envelopes, and £7.99 for the glassine paper bags. And finally for Etsy, the one-time setup fee of £14 and £1.05 in total for all my 7 listings. So in total, to have everything set up for my shop, I paid £360.89. Oh, sorry, it's because I never really Until this video, I didn't actually do my finances. So that's how much I need to earn to cover the cost, and then anything on top of that will be my profit. I sell one sticker for £3 including delivery, and to ship them it's 87 pence on Royal Mail because I used the letter option, the cheapest one. After the Etsy fees, my order earnings are £2.47. So Etsy basically takes 63 pence, and the breakdown is shown like this. This means that for one order of one sticker, I basically get to keep £1.60. And this is why you hear people say that Etsy is basically like a startup. So they do want to transition as fast as possible to their own website and avoid all these fees. At the moment, I feel like this is kind of like the best option for me because I don't have like a big social media following. So it makes sense. But again, just like everybody else said, I definitely want to move to a website as soon as I can. I know I'm a bit delulu because the money that I already spent, to me that's gone. So anything that I earn now is like free money. Kind of like when you return clothes. Girl math. Yes, there's that part of me that is doing it because I enjoy doing it. But I know as a small business, I definitely need to be serious with my finances and make sure I'm covering the cost and also making some profit. So yeah, I'll be responsible. I'll show you some stats of how my shop has performed so far. I feel like it's done quite well, to be honest. And yes, all the orders are from people that I know, whether they're friends or family or whatever. But does that matter, to be honest? No, because like I said, they're still valued customers. And honestly, it means the world to me that they even, checked out my shop, let alone made an order of multiple stickers. And I didn't ask them to do that. I just put it out there in the world, and whoever supported me, and I'm very grateful for that. So if you're watching this, thank you. I am looking forward to having strangers buy my stuff as well and supporting my shop, but I do get that there aren't any reviews. So from the stats I can see, they have checked out my shop, but maybe because I haven't got any reviews, they kind of feel a bit reluctant. And I get that because I don't usually shop unless I see reviews either, so that makes sense. But Etsy is doing this very annoying thing where buyers have to wait until the last day of the estimated delivery to leave a review. So it doesn't matter how fast I ship them, they still have to wait. So I feel like people might forget and I don't want to ask. I feel bad doing it. So let's see what happens. Hopefully I do get reviews. Having my own small business was a lifetime dream of mine. So I am feeling super proud of myself that, after all these months of hard work and feeling tired and whatever else, I've actually done it. And I'm super grateful for all the support I received. Special shout out to my boyfriend Alex, who's my #1 cheerleader. And of course, thank you so much to everyone who made an order. It really meant a lot to me. I'm so excited to keep growing the shop and drop more collections. I think the next one is going to be Valentine's Day in February, so that's what I'm aiming for. Watch this space. And thank you for coming along on this journey. Bye.